It's your show. So.
Yeah, it's our show. You know, this show used to be produced by Roland and yourself. And today, Roland has produced 2 MPs in his place. I mean, he's a big man now.
But how is it going, you know, the 2 of you?
It's exciting. It's exciting. Christmas on JoyNews AM show cannot be more exciting than this. And we really enjoy serving our viewers, the good people all over the world, the diaspora in their homes, and sharing Christmas and the love of Christ with you. It's a privilege.
So can we take your seats in the House, in Parliament?
Well, provided you allow us to take your seat here as well.
I think an exchange, particularly now that we're on recess, will not be a bad idea at all.
So you can take the seat.
Yeah.
We'll give you my seat.
Let's do a little reflection. We've heard from Archbishop Palmer Bako. We've heard from one of your ministers.
Yeah. In fact, that's my godfather, actually.
Okay, Reverend James Sir.
Yeah.
And there's let's go back to Palmer Bako and your politicians. Yeah. You're supposed to be working for us, but there are a lot of people you know who aspire to be in the House, not for the reason Palmer Bako is saying necessarily in terms of service. People want to be there for the pocket. What is it about Parliament that's attracting people? What is it about being a politician these days? I'll start with you, Sebedra.
Well, Mama V, I was just chit-chatting with my colleague, and I said some of us were called. It's a calling. Being in Parliament, if it's not a calling, you will not be able to do that which you are called to do. For us, it's a calling, and I mentioned that the day I decided to go into politics, Bishop James Sir prayed for me in church and said, go into politics. So it's a calling. Mine is a calling. Others may come with different motives. They will come, they want to enrich themselves. Others would like to serve the nation.
But there's richness in Parliament, isn't it?
There is service in Parliament. It is about service. It's about giving your whole life to the public to serve, you know, your constituent and the nation. So it's all about service, unless you have ulterior motive. And if you have ulterior motive, you will not enjoy Parliament.
Reverend Pojo, was it a calling for you too?
It certainly was a calling for me. And I think that the ambition to become a member of Parliament or to be a politician, particularly in our part of the world, must be well-intentioned. It must be premised on the strong desire to serve your people, to dedicate the best part of your life selflessly serving the people. Being in Parliament for 2 years, Honorable has been in Parliament for 12 years. I've been in Parliament for 10 years, going to 12 years. And for 2 years, I have seen that it is more of giving to the people, serving them day, night, evening, morning, anytime. Well, right from here, right after the studio, I'm heading towards straight to the constituency. There are a number of festivals and harvests and other very essential functions that need to be there at the sacrifice of time with family. And so that is my family too. And these are some of the sacrifices and many more that we give. So if the intention is not to serve the good people, it's not to be a very legitimate advocate for them, to seek development, to seek to improve their lives, you'll be frustrated. You will be.
We've heard all sorts of things that go on. I mean, you are politicians. How do you stay an elder and a reverend and have integrity because you're doing politics?
Nothing but a grace. We are as human as we are. As you see us here, we are human beings. We have our frailties, we have our weaknesses. You fall today, you rise tomorrow. It is just a grace. So if you really want to serve as a Christian politician, depend on nothing but the grace of God. Now, we all know that politics came from the word, from the Bible. God himself is a politician. Now, if God is a king, and God is a judge, and God is a lawgiver, it shows that God is in 3 sessions. That is the legislature, the judiciary, as well as the executive. Because he's the king, the judge, the ruler, he's the legislator, the lawgiver, and he's also the judge, the judiciary. So politics, God is a politician. So if you really want to stay in politics and fulfill your mission and divine calling in politics as a Christian, then depend on nothing but the grace of God.
Hallelujah.
Mahavi, you recall the first scripture I said on this show this morning, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, that the government shall be upon the shoulder of Jesus Christ, as Prophet Isaiah prophesied. Now, politics stems from governance, and government was instituted by God. Politics is just the process of getting into or administering governance. And right from at the outset, the history of government and politics, God himself had to appoint people, you know, into government. And over the period, we recall the days of Daniel, we recall the days of Joseph, we recall the days of David, where God, even Saul, the first king that God had to appoint. Even prior to that, his own prophets were the ones that were judging the people. Over the years, in all parts of the world, politics has evolved, and it has become more and more volatile, not only in Ghana or in Africa. And so it's even becomes more cautious for one to get in. And that is why I agree with Honorable Bedra that it only takes the grace of God to have you preserved. We hear of all kinds of things. We haven't seen it yet, but we hear of all kinds of things that occur.
Before you get to the house, we've heard about the things you have to do in terms of the payments that you have to do. We've also heard about the laptops when you're in the house, finally.
And like I said, we hear
Which
all,
one is the last?
we've heard all these things, but we haven't seen them. But we cannot pretend that there are a number of things that characterize politics, particularly in Africa, that we do not, I personally do not agree with. It has become a part. It will take it will take some time for things to be streamlined, and that is why we need a lot more to join in.
Okay,
and then gradually.
So based on that, I was going to ask: does it make a difference that the speaker himself is also a reverend?
It does. It does. Let me just share with you. In the past, we have speakers who are Christian as well, but this particular one is also not only a reverend minister. He also served as a patron of the Parliamentary Christian Fellowship.
Absolutely.
And for now, every Wednesday we pray with him. Members of Parliament who are Christians, we pray with him in his chamber, that is in his closet. We pray with him. That's never happened before. It is our prayer that will continue to grow in the faith and share faith together. We had some colleagues from Capital Ministries, that is from the US, and they share with us that in Capital Ministry, what they do is that they make sure that if a law comes to Capital, that's to Congress, they will use the Bible to go through and see the relevance of the Bible in that law or in that bill before they pass it.
Is that what we also do?
We want to learn from them and see how we can also, apply that in our system.
Interesting.
You remember that in the UK Parliament, in the British Parliament, and Ghana's Parliament is a combination of the hybrid system. We have a bit of the US and that of the UK. Having a permanent seat in the upper chamber is a bishop.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's not coincidence at all that the 7th Parliament has a Speaker of Parliament that is a priest and a man that is dedicated and very accomplished in various facets of life, in education, and in diplomacy and other very important areas. And discharging so faithfully without biases and selflessly.
No, that one is.
That's where there is.
And that is why I come. And that is why I come on the bishop, on Archbishop Palobako's message. And one take home here is that let's use the season to unite as a country. I have observed how over the years and very strongly politics has divided us as a nation. Even as a family, you go to places and families are divided because of politics. You go into schools, you go into workplaces, and it is not very healthy. And let us reflect on the love of Christ, and let's ensure that the love that we are receiving today in this festive season, we're going to express it. We're going to be uniting around the love of Christ, and politics should rather seek to unite us more as a people. If our intention is to serve well our people, it must rather unite us. It must not divide. We've come to a point where if one is even selling commodities or some products and then is believed to be inclined to a certain political party, another person who has a different inclination even does not want to go there. We shouldn't get there. Let us unite ourselves as a people, and let's ensure that the love of Christ becomes more paramount in our daily activities, and politics may be second or third.
Absolutely. How about hearing from your constituents, for instance?
Yes, that would be nice. Let me say a Merry Christmas to the people of Whole West, the Volta region, as well as the whole country. My colleague just mentioned the president. There's Merry Christmas to His Excellency the President and his vice. Same to our former president, John Dramani Mahama, and His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor, as well as Jerry John Rawlings. Merry Christmas to all of them and their families.
Okay.
A Merry Christmas to the good people of Asin South who are doing the viewing. By your kindness, I'm here and representing you, and so I'm joining you right from here to have Christmas. Tomorrow I'm also going to be in Jakarta. Right from here, I'm going to be in
You're going to Asin South after
right
here.
from here.
Okay.
I'm spending Christmas with the good people of Adankwamai. Asin Krine, to be specific. Tomorrow I'll be in Asin Jakai, and then subsequently I'll ensure that as many towns as possible I'll be visiting you all. We have Christmas, the very Asin way typical. I invite you to share Christmas with us.
How is the
Asin hospitality
Christmas like?
Now, Asin Christmas is one of a kind. Is one that you will love. You feel at home, and we use made in Asin products, made in Asin.
I saw you were looking at this is made in Ghana.
It's beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
It was one of my colleagues, Bright Gerard, does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so this is strictly
so
made in
right
Ghana.
from here, I'm going to put down my jackets and I'm going to put on my traditional cloth, my kente and my ahima, and then we join the good people of Asinsa. So Merry Christmas to my Bishop N.A. Takia Boy, and the First Lady Reverend Mrs. Dora Takia Boy, and all Victory Bible Church members, and my own branch, High Sanctuary is Legon, and all the pastors, and all the pastors and every clergy, every believer watching us who believes in Christ's coming and his birth is something that is celebrated unanimously across the world, and on social media, in the diaspora, everywhere, and from your homes where you're watching us on AM show, Joy News TV. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, Reverend. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to activate the phone lines. You can give us a call, 0302-211-6912, 0302-211-6912. You can give us a call. It's Christmas Day. We're hanging out. Well, in fact, the two members of Parliament are actually hosting me right now because I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah.
Well, Mama V, I had Reverend, whilst we wait for our viewers to call, I had Archbishop Palmer says that if you take Christ out, there's no Christmas. Yeah. If you take Christ out of this whole business of Christmas, there's no Christmas. Sure. In fact, it will be just celebration. But let's have Christ at the center of our celebration. Yeah. And let's enjoy Christ. Let's have Christ at the center of our heart, at the center of everything that we do. Be in politics, be in business, be in public service, be in government, be in the judiciary, wherever you find yourself, let Christ be the center of yourself.
Christ is the reason for the season.
Yeah. Let's go to your constituency first, because from Ascent South, there's Ewa Francis calling us. Ewa Francis, Merry Christmas. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, many happy returns.
Okay, so what do you want to share with us on this day?
Yeah.
First of all, Francis, you have to turn down the volume on that television set so you can hear us through the phone.
All right. This is Odonsoyo. I think Reverend knows me very well.
Yes. Mr. Ewa, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I want to wish honorable member a happy Merry Christmas. I miss him so much. We are waiting for him. We are waiting for our parcel for the
Hey!
It is on the way.
How about you prepare a parcel for him instead of waiting to receive? You have something for him. I am coming with him.
We are waiting for him at Lincoln. Special one.
So the people of Nyankumasia Hinkru, your package is on the way. So ensure you keep my chicken. Don't chop everything. I'm coming for mine too.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Lincoln. Tonight, Lincoln.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas to all the people at Lincoln Hotel. Yes.
Okay. I don't want to ask what happens at Lincoln. What happens at Lincoln, we leave it there. Francis, thanks for joining us. From Gambaga, there's Big Brights. Hello?
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas to my two honorable men who have come with you this morning.
Merry Christmas, Bright.
Yes.
Okay, Bright, any Christmas message you want to send across to someone who's watching?
Oh, yes. I want to say hi to my family. I want to say hi to everybody in Gambaga here. I also want to say hi to all the people in Najo number 2. And I want to say hi to my church members, St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Gambaga here. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
But my only caution is that in this part of the country, when we are celebrating Christmas, a lot of people go into reckless motor riding, and we end up having a lot of blood. That doesn't seem to be why we are celebrating Christmas. So I'm only cautioning my brothers and my sisters that when we are getting to the evening time, it is not a time to exhibit our riding skills. It is a time to take time and then, just make merry with our friends and just be at one place.
Thank you,
so
Brian.
At the end,
Thank you.
We will not say that Christ coming brought blood, but it rather brought peace.
Thank you very much, Bright. We have Ezekiel Soti from Somanya. Bright, good morning and Merry Christmas.
Good morning, Honorables. How are you doing?
By His grace, and how are you doing too in Somanya?
I am fine, very well.
How are you celebrating the Christmas?
Yes, by God's grace, I'm doing very well.
Good. Any Christmas message?
Yes, the message is that I appreciate what happened this morning between the two MPs, Honorable Bejra and Honorable Fojo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honestly speaking, there was a time I saw them, they argue on the radio station, on TV, and I watched them, and then the argument, sometimes behind closed door, you think they are quarreling. But they are, what they demonstrated, it tells us that when we watch them, we should be able to do the same. There shouldn't be any enmity or any, we are not enemies. Yes. We are the same people serving the same country. So I like what they have done so much, what they demonstrated. I like it so much.
Thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you so much. That's how it is. In fact, in Parliament, we sit together, we drink, we share ideas together. There is no fighting in Parliament. And we want our viewers, our followers also, exhibit the same thing. In politics, we share ideas. Sometimes we argue over ideas, and then we want to, ask our colleagues to understand what we are saying, and they also want us to understand. So it is just a common trading of ideas. So there's no fighting at all.
Please, can I ask why you didn't pass the RTI? I know what the speaker has said. We shouldn't give you pressure. But he gave the December deadline.
Yes.
So I have to ask.
That's
what the coalition said we should do. When you see any of your members, any member of parliament this holiday season, ask them why they have not passed the RTI.
The RTI bill still remains one of the most important priorities of parliament, and particularly this 7th parliament. And you recall from history, other parliaments that have come and gone, there's this parliament that has shown a lot of commitment and getting close.
We'll come to that, but you take the call and then we'll come, because at this point I disagree with what you said.
We have a caller from Boko. Damoni Moses. Lawane, you're welcome to AM Show. Merry Christmas.
Hello.
Did you say something in his language?
Yes, I said Lawane.
Yes, how are you?
Good, we are doing well. So, Moses, shall we have your Christmas message?
Yes, I just admire the two of you. You are looking very great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me go out. He said the two of you.
No, Moses,
no,
you have to bail us out here. Mama V is looking great too.
Thank you very much.
Good. Any message for the good people of Boku?
Oh, Boku, we are doing well. We are doing well. We are just celebrating Christmas and waiting for our annual festival, which will come out on the 29th, 30th.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And the good people of Boku. Thank you.
Okay.
So I was just sharing on the thoughts that we express various views and various thoughts, maybe differing, but that should not get into a fight. We can't disagree on ideologies. We can't disagree on various ways that we want to.
Which you do, because, for instance, he thinks sometimes the speaker is biased. You think, oh, he's neutral.
The speaker
all the time
has been a very fair man at the outset, and there are times that I would have I even thought that he had been very benevolent, and so yes. So we have another caller from.
Okay. Yeah, we have said Ousu from Asin Fosu. Oh, so nobody is calling from Howes. From Asin Fosu for...
Let's activate that. No, we'll talk about OT region then.
Yes, said Ousu, good morning and Merry Christmas.
I just said to you, good morning.
Any Christmas message for us? And
yes, good morning and Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, we are all delighted to see both of you coexist peacefully like this, and we wish it will continue.
It will continue, yes. Seth. We can promise you that.
And it must.
Yes. However, I will be very glad if both of you will come together
and deal with a very topical issue, which is eating away a portion of the Ghanaian public. It is to do with the men's goal saga.
Okay.
Though there is a school of thought who believe that these clients were
they were cautioned, they were told.
Yes, to the admonition from the Bank of Ghana and the other state agencies. There is a saying in my language that you want a child not to go to the refuge camp. However, if he does, you leave him because he was disobedient. So I'm pleading that with this issue on the minds of the people, can you, the way you've done this morning, come together in the spirit of Christmas to see how best to bail our brothers and sisters, these unfortunate ones.
Seth, we'll talk to our producers and our...
Don't we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it after we speak to a number of people. So we'll talk about men's goal, we'll talk about the RTI. Reverend, we have somebody on the line.
Thank you, Seth. We have a caller from Ho, but just before we receive the very first caller from Ho, I want to empathize with all the victims who may have lost or still having their investment held up in this ongoing issue. And also to commend the state for the steps that they are taking in ensuring that all such investments are recovered. And so we would keep monitoring, we'll keep supporting your cause.
There are a few questions that I want to put out to you after we speak to the people we have holding on. After we speak, we'll talk about this matter on the show.
So we have Hajia Tahiru all the way from Ho. Weasel, you're welcome to Christmas Day on AM show. I know Honorable Bedra would love to have a word with you. So let's hear your message.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Hajia.
Yes. I wish my Honorable MP, Honorable Bedra, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Hajia.
Although he's a fine man. Yes, he's my mentor. So I wish him Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yesterday he was in his constituency with me. We went around, shared some goodies to the agents and the constituency executives. So we wish him Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Hajia.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Okay, so we'll talk about what you went to do in Ho as well, which you hid from us. Thanks to Hajia, we'll talk about that.
No, she said for the aged.
For the aged.
You and I are not aged. So
I did
we'll be expecting our package.
Co-chair to one young lady who I was told could not walk from birth, and I bought a co-chair and also bought food stuff and items, Christmas cake for aged and for
God bless you. We'll talk about the essence of that also in the show. But we've got Doris. Reverend will speak to Doris.
Doris from Bolga, you're welcome to Christmas Day on AM show.
Thank you.
Shall we hear your Christmas message for the good people of Ghana and Bolga?
Yeah, I'm with you all. Yes, Reverend.
Okay.
I heard you.
Doris, I think first of all you have to turn down on the volume on your television sets, so we can all move away from it, because I see there are people in the house who want to listen to what the interaction. So please kindly just move away from them. We can hear all of them. Merry Christmas to everybody with Doris right now in Bolga.
Okay, I'm trying to speak to Reverend because I heard him speaking French. So if you can continue with
Doris, Lawani.
Yes. Last one, who I want?
Lamfine.
Ankara Maza.
Mposia. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
Please, what does that mean? What does that mean, Doris? Everything he said, what does it mean?
We're exchanging pleasantries.
I wish you all Bolga people Merry Christmas.
Good.
And all politicians, that should make it still good for us in Ghana in 2019. And I wish all JoyNews Merry Christmas, and I wish them all the best. That they should keep it up.
In fact, they're taking good care of us here. Merry Christmas to all your studio panelists and studio workers, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doris and Posia.
We have Edwin Kobe. Edwin, Merry Christmas.
He's calling from Tito.
Yeah. Edwin.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Edwin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Honorable. I want to use this opportunity to wish you and the Honorable MP for saying Merry Christmas. I also wish Mama V a Merry Christmas and the entire crew at JoyNews TV a Merry Christmas. I think this is a season for us to give to the needy. And I have heard Hadia, the Volta Regional Zongo Caucus Coordinator, commending you for being the constituency yesterday to give to some needy people in the constituency executives and regional executives of the NDC party. I also heard the Honorable MP for Asin promising his people that he will be in town after the program to do same. I think it is the right thing to do. When God puts you in a privileged position, you should be able to share that privilege with those who need. So I want to use this opportunity to commend you for the good work you are doing. May God bless Mother Ghana.
Thank you very much. He's called Edwin Koge from Chito. Koge, not Kobe. Thank you, Edwin. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. So just, Edwin, thank you very much. Talking about sharing with the needy and commending Honorable Bedra highly for that great gesture yesterday. Tomorrow happens to be 26th, and it's an annual harvest festival in Asinja Kind. Okay. Merry Christmas to my wife, Tracy. I'm sure she's doing the viewing at home. She's clothing. She's going to clothe every widow in Asinja Kind tomorrow. Okay. And so let's make a date. All the good people of Asinja Kind and the environs.
She's clothing everybody.
She's bringing parcels of cloth and to share specifically for the widows and the aged. Okay. So let's meet at Asinja Kind tomorrow.
Okay.
We have Seth Amwaku from Kumasi. Seth, Merry Christmas and good morning.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Yes, your Christmas message, Seth.
Yes, I want to wish Merry Christmas to my third pastor, Reverend Prophet, my wife, Mrs. Comfort Amwaku, and then a very special person. Today happens to be her birthday. Oh. Her name is Abigail. Okay. I want to wish her Merry Christmas and a happy birthday.
Merry Christmas.
And then to the Honorable MP for Asin South. I want to wish you Merry Christmas. I really like him.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a strong fan of JoyNews, so wherever he comes, I do follow him. I really, really love him.
Thank you very much,
I want to wish my children, all of them here, right here with me, all to wish them Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And then to Mama V.
Yes, sir.
Roland, and then
Kojo.
Yes. To all of you guys. I want to say I am addicted to your program, JoyNews. I'm addicted to JoyNews.
That's a good addiction.
All of you, Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much, Seth and your family. Have a beautiful Christmas. So that's Seth Amwako from Kumasi joining us. Let's just take a minute and reflect on some of the things that have come. First of all, let's talk about the exercise you carried out. MPs, is it your business to give? Everybody is expecting. It's Christmas Day. You go to your constituency. Why do you take on that responsibility? You're lawmakers. You're not, you're not supposed to be paying school fees and be given Christmas gifts.
Well, the work of an MP is service. You are serving the people. And serving the people is not only limited to the house of making laws. That's the house. We also give out ourselves because you are giving out your time, you are even giving out your family to be with them. And so, festive seasons of this nature is for you to share whatever you have received from the big house. And Reverend will tell you that we received something small, we went back to give it back to them. And that is all about service. Service is giving. Jesus Christ came and gave himself for our sins. So who are we that will not go and serve? If you are a minister, ministry means service. So we also go back to serve. So it's all about service. Now, it is not, somebody will say it's not my business of giving out, paying school fees. But, Mama V,
buying wheelchair.
Buying wheelchair, buying food stuff, buying coffins, and, so it is difficult, but you have to do it. And now, some of our colleagues, the MPs, will do different things. Some would like to, organize gala football, which I'll be doing 26, 27, 28 of the gala. I'll be also, hosting some people with a party, especially the elderly people. With my queen mother from Chito, we'll be having we'll be preparing food for the elderly, the aged, the orphans in my village. We'll be doing that on the 27th. A couple of things coming together that we'll do. So, as Reverend has mentioned, I came this morning, and I'm going back again right after here. I'm going back to the constituency to go around and share with whatever you have. Others will also be doing other things as well.
Okay. Reverend, I understand what Tracy is doing, but you're a lawmaker.
You recall, Jesus said, on that day, I'll say to you, I don't know you. Why? Because you didn't clothe me when I was on the streets. You didn't visit me when I was in prison. When I was in need, you did not help me out. So as members of parliament, typically and ordinarily, one would say the job of an MP is to make laws. But if you're an MP, I always say that if you're an MP in Ghana, you cannot say you are like an MP in Canada or France or England or United States. We have a lot of challenges, real challenges. And so if you take it upon yourself to lead your good people, the least you can do is to share with them in their problems. You may not be able to solve all their problems, but make an attempt. And the little that you have, in Akan, we have something we say, so the little that you have, when you share it, it might not totally eliminate the plight, but it will go a long way to help them. So on this season, I know many members of parliament on both sides of the aisle that have packaged something to share with their constituents. Beyond that, we still remain a voice for our people. We are pushing everywhere that we can to ensure we bring home development. So Merry Christmas to all our constituents.
Before we take a breather, let's talk about men's goals. It's one of the issues. I've heard Makasibe Yeboah and Kesel Atofo-Sin. They all happen to be on the Finance Committee of Parliament. Kesel thinking government must step in and sell off the properties of men's gold to settle these people. Makasibe Yeboah, on the other hand, thinking that these persons were cautioned several times by the regulators, even though the regulators were not regulators before until later on. What do you two think? Because men's gold, and especially this season, I mean, we saw customers, crying, and it hits home now because of the celebrations, because you can't buy things for your family, because you need money and you have funds locked up somewhere. What should we do? How should we proceed? What do you think?
Well, every government will want to intervene and make sure that things are done properly. And one of them is to caution people. They've done that over and over. Unfortunately, human as we are, we continue to invest. Now, those funds have been locked up. What do we do as a government, as a people who have been elected to serve our people? One of the things that should be done, in my opinion, which I share, that of Atofo-Sin, is to sell the properties, arrest them, because yes, indeed, he cannot be left off hook. I hear he's nowhere to be found. He's left the system.
We're only hearing. We haven't heard from the state agency. Are we even looking for him? That's a question. Are we looking for him?
Well, so my point is that let's begin to look for him. Let's arrest him. Because if you claim that you are a regulator and that whatever he was doing was illegal, you've cautioned people. Yes, you've cautioned people. Now, if yesterday, what I saw on the television, if people have caused that mass suicide, what would have happened? Would government come in and say, oh, sorry, you've caused mass murder or mass suicide? No. So government should step in now. Government has already done whatever needs to be done. Now they should come in, sell the property, arrest the man, and let him account. I believe that the funds are there. If the funds are not there, then where are the funds? Where is the money? Men's goals should be held accountable and responsible for whatever has happened.
Reverend, what do you think?
One would have thought that celebrating Christmas, every family would be happily celebrating, but unfortunately, be that as it may, some families are not very happy because some investments are locked up, and some cautions had come, very important cautions had come from Bank of Ghana and other SEC, cautioning clients and the public on some of these investments. But however, we've come to a point that we have a challenge, and that is where I strongly support the government in the stance they've taken to whatever necessary step that there is to be taken to ensure that depositors' investments are restored. It is done. Currently, as we speak, there has been a court order issued by the Kumasi High Court to the effect that the properties and investments of the company, said company, will have to be confiscated and sold, and the proceeds of same distributed to clients. And I think that is a step in the right direction. And I would always support any further call to fully and completely, restore every investment that every client puts in. And whilst doing so, also we've had a number of these unfortunate losses occurring. We remember Piram, we remember DKB, we remember this is not certainly a good time to remind ourselves some of these sad incidents. But going forward, it is also an opportunity for us to be cautioned as a public that it's very hard to come by money. And so even if it's one city you're going to invest in, you may have to check where you're putting it. But at the point as we find ourselves in, I would want to support the government in the very able steps they are taking in ensuring the depositors' investment are recovered. You recall what we did for the payment that I've made for DKM clients, and then also the efforts that the government ably came in and pumping in billions of cedis just to save depositors' monies in the banks that went under. All these are commitments of this current government to ensure that whatever the antecedents there may have been, we have come to a point that we need to empathize with the good people of Ghana whose investments are locked up, and whilst also looking for taking a cue from these regulatory bodies who have to ensure that beyond certain cautions, certain very assertive steps are taken ahead of time, so we do not come to this point again.
Okay. All right. I think we disagreed somewhere along the line with RTI. Okay. Apart from this one. This one, I'll leave this fight for you to fight. I want to fight RTI fights.
We are within the same fight. We are within the same fight.
RTI has to be passed. We've been very close. And I tell you what, I mean, it's disappointment from listening to the speaker. The fact that I'm sure you're familiar with. This was before you rose. And I think what he said is making me feel we may never see this, even though he's given another February February deadline. But he gave the December deadline. We didn't push him. He committed himself.
We are committed because right at the outset, as I told you, the 7th Parliament and the Speaker of Parliament and the leadership, the majority leader, the minority leader, both sides of the aisle, all relevant committees, even plenary, we are very committed to ensuring that this very important bill, which has been on the table, various CSOs and advocacy.
You were really close before the previous administration. You were really close. So when you say this is the closest we've come.
This is the closest we've come, and I have to put it in context because you recall that what challenged the passage of this bill in the 6th Parliament was that they got to this stage we have come to very close to the expiry of the 6th Parliament. And that was what constrained.
You still could have gone ahead to pass it.
We have just concluded the second meeting.
Things. I mean, you sat on Saturday and rose around 5 a.m. Sunday.
So that's why I'm giving you the commitment. I'm stating the commitment that we have come this close, not in the 4th meeting, in the 2nd meeting. So by the beginning of the 3rd meeting, which is starting in February, we should be able. We've taken a lot of amendments on this bill already, and then within the next session, we should be able to conclude this.
Just a few seconds.
I have been on this fight for some time now, especially from the previous.
Are you still on the assurances committee?
Yes, I'm still.
Honorable Measure.
Yes, I'm
still. This is an assurance.
No, I have ranking member.
Yeah.
I've been fighting. Even when we were in government, when my party was in government. I mean, civil society will tell you that I'm one of the key people who fights.
I think we should be holding the assurances committee accountable on this.
Merry Christmas. and that I gave my word, even at any forum, I gave my word that we're going to push our colleagues to make sure that this bill is passed. We all know what happened during the last parliament, the 6th parliament. It got very close, as you mentioned. Unfortunately, we could not pass it because there was that election
from the other side
election period. So our thinking was that we've done every work, every bit of work. Now, if there's a lapse of a parliament, therefore there's a new parliament, all you need to do is dust it off. Because you've done even the amendment to a certain stage. Bring the rest for us to do. Because we all agree at that time that all the things that we needed to be done, including the amendment, were done. It was left what we call consideration stage, which we are doing now. So if we had moved faster, this bill would have been passed. Whatever. It's not been passed yet. The Speaker has given his word that at the next sitting or next meeting, we will pass it. It is our prayer. It's our hope. We'll push it that it is passed. We all want this.
Please, when you go to your prayer meetings, please remind him. And remind him that you are tracking, because you're on the assurances committee.
Honestly speaking, the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Reverend Professor Michael Aaron Okwe, is strongly committed to the passage.
Okay.
It would not just be a feather in his cap. It would be a great legacy he would leave when he sees the passage, and he will ensure that is done.
We will be watching and tracking and knocking on the doors of the assurances committee every now and then. Okay, but how much of entertainment goes into your system, Reverend? There are so many activities going on. One of the things that you'll be introducing is show business. So how much of show business do you partake in yourselves?
Unfortunately, yeah, for a lot of people, Christmas means sharing their holidays with the family, partying and traveling. But have you ever wondered how politicians also celebrate their Christmas? We're listening to some of our people, especially members of parliament, listen to them and see how we celebrate our Christmas.